Into our weekly news roundup. Thank you so much for allowing us into your lunchtime space. My name is Patricia Lukoma Mpango. A very good afternoon to you as we take you through what has made headlines throughout the week. Now, this week, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni urged Christians to emulate examples of late Archbishop Janan Lum, who died for speaking the truth and fighting injustice. The president's speech was delivered by Chief Justice Alphonse Owiny-Dollo during the 47th commemoration of Janan Lum Day at St. Paul's Church in Muchwin, Kitgum District.
By 9 a.m., thousands of people had already gathered at St. Paul's Church of Uganda grounds to commemorate Janan Lum Day. The Archbishop of the Church of Uganda, Stephen Kazimba Mugalu, was the main celebrant. He urged government to develop the place where his colleague, the late Janan Lum, was buried at Muchwin in Kitgum into a tourist site.
There is still so much to do on this Janan Lum project in order to give it an international outlook and thus attract more benefits accruing from tourism investment. This year's event has attracted more people, more pilgrims, and more support towards the work being.
The clergy commended government for making 16 February an annual public holiday in remembrance of the late Archbishop Janan Lum's contributions to Uganda's development.
Archbishop Janan Lum, although I didn't live with you, but I saw you when I was a young seminarian. You were a leader. And you stood for Christ, for your people, not only in Uganda, but also Boga Zaire.
The Minister for Internal Affairs, Kahindo Tafire, who joined the Christians in celebrating Lum Day, urged the people to forget what happened in the past and embrace unity for a better Uganda.
What's primary and disregard what's secondary. Those faiths, those traditions, those beliefs that divide us should be discarded. Let's emphasize what uplifts our welfare. Let's emphasize what puts us together.
The President of Uganda, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, was represented at the Janan Lum Day by Chief Justice Alphonse Owiny-Dollo. President Museveni urged all Christians to emulate the examples of the late Janan Lum, who died for speaking the truth and fighting justice.
Call upon you all to embrace peace, tolerance, forgiveness, and reconciliation for the betterment of our nation. I thank the family for keeping the memory of Janan Lum alive. Indulged in was in Kikolok, and we came to the resolve that what this part of Uganda needs, after all these years of devastation, is social revival. We need fundamental revival, fundamental recovery in this place of Uganda.
Janan Lum, a former archbishop of the province of the Church of Uganda that comprised of Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi and Boga Zaire, present-day Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC, is believed to have been killed by the then-President Idi Amin Dada for opposing his government. He was buried at his ancestral home in Muchwini, Kitgum District. I'm Nafka Farida and Aguta Philip.
Now, the First Lady and Minister for Education and Sports, Mrs. Janet Kataha Museveni, has met with a team of American film producers led by Peter Greenberg at State House, Nakasero. Now this week, Peter Greenberg, an Emmy Award-winning producer and travel editor for CBS News in New York, was accompanied by his wife, Hande Greenberg, and Deborah Bratt, a renowned producer, director, and writer in Hollywood. Now, the team had recently completed an 8-day trip in Uganda, during which they filmed various tourist sites for an upcoming documentary project that aims to showcase the country's vibrant tourism sector. Also present at the meeting were Miss Diana Museveni, Charemera, and her assistant Priscilla Butajera. The First Lady warmly welcomed the American team and expressed her gratitude to their interests in documenting and promoting Uganda's tourism potential. Now, during his briefing about the trip, Greenberg mentioned that they had met interesting people and experienced the country in a best possible way. He shared their exciting and life-changing experiences such as gorilla tracking and witnessing natural wonders, all of which were captured on camera. Now, Greenberg mentioned that his team returning to America later that day would begin the challenging task of editing the footage. They plan to have a grand premiere in New York and possibly another one in Los Angeles for the entertainment community. And of course, at the same time, they will be able to come back to Uganda to have another premiere.
We later decided to slow down the pace and instead focus our attention, efforts, and resources on consolidating the implementation of the revised lower secondary curriculum, meaning a curriculum of O level. Since financial year 2019-2020 to 2022-2023 alone, the government has invested at least 130 billion shillings in the development and rollout of the revised lower secondary curriculum. This excludes the initial funding injected in the earlier stages prior to financial year 2019-2020. And I must say that we still are in need of more resources to ensure that our schools are well acquainted with what it takes to implement the revised lower secondary curriculum the way it was designed to be implemented. Therefore, we believe that it is not wise to embark on another rigorous venture of full view of the A-level curriculum in the environment of limited resources across government. We cannot afford at this time to withdraw resources from the implementation of the newly introduced revised lower secondary curriculum. Doing that shall completely mess up both the new and the old. We have been guided by the technical teams in the ministry that having learners of the revised lower secondary curriculum progress into A-level and utilize the existing advanced level curriculum does not in any way compromise their subject combinations. Furthermore, it does not jeopardize the academic grounding expected of them upon joining higher education. In a nutshell, let us first consolidate the implementation of the revised lower secondary curriculum before embarking on an overhaul of the A-level curriculum. So this is our position as a ministry regarding the A-level curriculum.
Well, that was a story about the progress of A-level curriculum. Now let's have that story where the First Lady met Peter Greenberg all the way from America. completed an 8-day trip in Uganda, during which they filmed various tourist sites for an upcoming documentary project. Now, as we move on, in the East African Bureau, the Deputy Speaker of Uganda's Parliament, Thomas Taiyewa, has been elected East Africa's representative on the Bureau of OACPS, that is OSCPS, EU Parliamentary General Assembly. Now, this was at the 64th session of this assembly held in Luanda, Angola.
Uganda's parliament has continued to stretch beyond borders, with the latest news of election of the Deputy Speaker Thomas Taiyewa as a representative of East Africa to the Organization of the African, Caribbean and Pacific States European Union General Assembly.
The Deputy Speaker of the Parliament of Uganda, Honorable Thomas Taiyewa.
Taiyewa, who was elected during the 64th session of the OSPS parliamentary meeting in Rwanda, Angola.
And the major issues we shall be focusing on will be on implementation of the Samoa Agreement, which has replaced the Cotonou Agreement that had been running for over 20 years. We shall be engaging strongly with the European Union on issues to do with climate change, gender parity, energy transition, human rights, and peace and conflict resolution, and democracy, which are cornerstones of the international framework.
Taiyewa will be representing Mauritius, Seychelles, Djibouti, Comoros, Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda and Burundi.
But most importantly, I'll be a voice of the Global South on these issues, whereby we shall ensure that indeed unfair trade practices and unfair trade restrictions which are coming from our big brothers in the European Union are negotiated on fair ground and on fair terms. And then also the issue of the energy transition, whereby the European Union has been pushing us so much, especially we from the Global South, the undeveloped countries, that we ditch our traditional energy methods. It's an issue where we must negotiate properly on transition clauses in as far as energy issues and renewable energy is concerned.
Martin Peters Owino, a Kenyan member of parliament, hopes Taiyewa will ably represent their interests.
Today we are so happy that we have elected our able Deputy Speaker of Uganda, Honorable Thomas. We know, following how he has been representing or deliberating in these sessions, he's a very forthright and decisive guy, and I know he's going to represent us well. Even though our partners may be taking this opportunity to divide us into region thinking we will be weaker, I think with him heading the East Africa regional section, we will be much stronger. And
key among his pledges is to stand firm on issues regarding the African continent.
Now, with Uganda being the chair of NAM, with Uganda being the chair of G77 plus China, and with this, it means that the issues that we must be looking at as a country are from an African perspective, not only from our country perspective.
We want him to bring us together, first of all, communicate effectively, that we may discuss issues before it comes to the floor when we have the sessions.
In Angola, Taiyewa was in company of opposition chief whip in Ugandan parliament, John Baptist Nambeshe. The OACPA EAU Assembly brings together an equal number of elected MPs from the African, Caribbean and Pacific ASCP states and members of the European Parliament. Robert Nyango, UBC News.
Now, Minister for Health, Dr. Jane Ruth Cheng, has tasked Butalija District leadership to utilize the available media platforms in educating its masses about malaria preventative measures. She reveals that despite the different government interventions in eliminating the disease, the district has remained a disease burden, pegging it on inadequate knowledge on disease prevention.
in attempt to strengthen the quality of healthy services in Bukedi sub-region. The Ministry of Health has kicked off support supervision visits in a number of healthy facilities in the sub-region. While in Butaleja district, the team visited 7 healthy facilities that include Busolwe Hospital, Budumba Healthy Center 3, and Mazinansa Healthy Center 3, among others, purposely to assess the quality of service delivery in the health units. Led by their minister, Jane Ruth Acheng, the team discovered that despite several government interventions put towards malaria prevention, the district is still overwhelmed by malaria cases.
Most of the cases we are seeing are malaria and high blood pressure. And this tells you that the prevention system is still a little weak and needs to be strengthened. So my appeal to the entire district is they need to utilize the media more, both the print media, the radio stations, the televisions, to talk to the population.
This is Busolwe Hospital, where government, through partnership with Spanish government, has injected over 37 billion shillings to renovate the facility. The team was pleased with the renovation work, confirming its completion by March this year.
A good job is being done by both Excel Construction and the UPDF. And we are hopeful that by the end of March, they will be able to hand over the hospital to the Ministry of Health, and the hospital will continue to serve the population.
With the entire facility under renovation, the district leaders are optimistic that this will enable its upgrade to a regional referral hospital.
Now that the construction is almost reaching its final conclusion, they should consider us and give us an opportunity to upgrade the status of our hospital from a general hospital to a referral regional hospital. Because we qualify at the moment, given the population, given the demand from our neighbors and us, the landlords. And also we would like to request government to offer us a nursing school attached to the hospital.
We are now over 400 people, according to the census of the last 10 years or 10 years or so. We were 400,000 people, residents of Butaleja. And now I believe with this census, which is going to be conducted, you'll find that the number must shoot to 500,000 or 600,000. So that number alone of Butaleja is enough. But remember, when it is elevated to a regional referral, it means it will be serving the entire 7 districts of Bukedi sub-region. So that includes Tororo, Busia, Budaka, Kibuku, and Palisa.
Among other findings the ministry came up with include misuse of drugs at the lower healthy facilities and stalled works under healthy sector. Irene Faith Nantongo, UBC News.
Now with Soroti drainage, residents of Soroti City have expressed disappointment in the speed at which the level of cleanliness and hygiene has continued to dwindle. Business operators decry the littering of garbage and stagnant water, which they are worried could lead to ailments such as cholera and dysentery.
Just off the road leading to Serere is Soroti Avenue. It is one of the streets filled with activity in the recently created city of Soroti. What welcomes one here is the stinking atmosphere caused by stagnant water and irresponsibly littered polythene waste. Residents say they are just a few moments away from contracting ailments associated with poor hygiene.
This particular part is flooded, has been flooded for a very long period of time. When we consulted the authorities, they said the channel is blocked from there, from in front there. But we are wondering why it cannot be opened. Secondly, moving around the city, Soroti has become one of the dirtiest cities in Uganda, and we don't understand what is happening.
It is said that 5 years ago, a primary school pupil drowned and died from here. The body was found meters away, which prompted authorities to construct a wire mesh within the drainage channel. This, they say, has since caused a blockage.
When the kid fall there, they found a dead body down there. So they decided to block that thing. But if they see, let them remove that net, that wire mesh there. That water will flow down under the stage. We have tried every effort. We have worked with the Uganda police force to try to clean this city. But the authorities have let us down. And it is a shame for us.
Not even recent concerns from the Archbishop of the Church of Uganda and other leaders have seen the authorities act.
And the acting governor Bank of Uganda came and commented about this. But these people seem to have deaf ears.
The anomaly is blamed on what some people say is poor leadership.
What is really the problem in Soroti? Is it leadership? Is it lack of money? But if it is lack of money, then we don't understand where the money that is sent quarterly goes. But surely, this is a very bad picture, and it boils down to the quality of leadership we have in Soroti.
To answer to these questions would be the technical and political leadership of the city. Unfortunately, our repeated phone calls to both the town clerk and the city mayor went unanswered. Henry Okrut, UBC.
Now, the Fisheries Protection Unit of the UPDF embarked on sensitizing fishing communities on appropriate fishing practices in the Eastern Cluster. Now, this week, during the sensitization meeting at Kiyinde landside, 8 boats of silverfish containing 1,260 pieces of premature Nile perch were intercepted and 22 fishermen arrested, although they were later released after being cautioned.
The fishing community sensitization is centered on proper fishing practices to preserve aquatic life for reasonable business motive.
Today we have sensitized our fishermen here, and we are telling them the dangers of catching immature tilapia. Nowadays you can see all over on the lakes, rivers, fishermen are crying that there is no tilapia and Nile perch in water. But we are telling them this method they are using, it cannot allow tilapia to mature. So we are telling them to stop this method they are using of the longer fishing net, which goes deeper in water, like 22 meters, then width it is around 70 meters, which catches the silverfish and the younger tilapia and Nile perch.
Stakeholders in the fishing sector have resorted to disguised methods of doing illegal fishing, pretending as silverfish dealers to catch undersized fish species.
We impounded 8 boats of silverfish. On checking them, we found them with 1,260 juvenile Nile perch, which is illegal and against the law.
At Kindi landing site in Buikwe district, 8 boats were intercepted and 22 fishermen arrested, cautioned and released.
Then he arrested 22 fishermen of silverfish, especially the fishermen of Mukene, who fish in the pretext of fishing of Mukene or silverfish. They fish juvenile Nile perch, as we have seen.
These are encouraged to adapt to acceptable fishing gears to avoid running battles with enforcement teams.
Instead, when they are fishing silverfish, they go back to the old method of chota-chota. instead of hurry up. This hurry up is a dangerous method. It takes all silverfish and Nile perch.
From Boikwe district, the team proceeded to Jinja district, where an operation was conducted in Jinja Central Market and Tax Park Market, targeting stores dealing in illegal fishing gears. Local leaders in Jinja City rendered support to the unit officers.
And we have found out that these people with the businesses are selling illegal gears of nets. We have got 2 boxes of illegal gears of mesh size 2.5 inches and 3 inches.
The operation team impounded illegal fishing gears and the 2 businessmen were arrested.
Catch mature fish, because if you use a net of 2.5 inches, automatically it's going to catch very young fish, of which the young fish, even if you get 100 pieces, you won't get anything from that part, from that fish. We have arrested people that were found owning those shops. We have arrested them. We have handed them over to police, Jinja CPS. They are going to, the law is going to take its course.
The fishing communities are urged to mobilize and work in groups to attract government development programs and other assistance from non-state actors towards improving fishing activities on Ugandan waters. Abdul Nasili Luwama and Rogers Kumagum for UBC.
Now, in a fraud case, relatives and friends of Paul Owar, a former Busiru South constituency aspirant, were shocked at Entebbe Magistrates Court after Chief Magistrate Stella Maris Amabiles ordered him to return to Lizira prisons and extended his bail application until Monday next week, following a debate about the information of the sureties presented by his lawyers.
Former Busiru South independent candidate Paul Owar, together with his lawyers, appeared before Entebbe Chief Magistrate Stella Maris Amabilisi. Paul Owar was arrested on 19th December 2023 for allegedly fraudulently taking money from Lois Nahuela, whom he sold land to but sold the same piece of land to someone else. Owar's arrest and subsequent detention in Luzira prisons followed a manhunt as he continued to go into hiding. Owar first hid from our cameras and asked the Chief Magistrate Stella Amabilisi whether we were allowed to take pictures of him.
Am I allowed? Yeah, it's allowed to be in the chamber. No, it's free to be in court. There is no court. During the last time we were in court,
later, his lawyers subsequently filed an application for bail.
So wish to the outstep to record that the accused person has been on remand since the 22nd of December till now, the 14th. The one that we did here, I have immunization cards for the children of the applicant. That's all right. But now there's a
I have not disputed the issue that he has children. Where does it come from?
Married together with the first surety.
But counsel, when they talk of marriage, what is marriage?
His bail sureties, who included his uncle, wife and friends, were presented to the Chief Magistrate, but state prosecutor said they were not qualified and that there were contradictions in the information presented by their lawyer.
It must show capacity that they can be able to pay in case their person absconds, the accused absconds to return. Looking at the nature of offense involving huge sums of money, if these two, one is a baker and a stepmom and another of 27 years, they have no financial muscle to meet the obligation.
The state prosecutor said it would be difficult for Paul Owar to appear in court since he has proved to be slippery in the past and he also has charges of extortion and impersonation reported to various police stations.
It's hard to get him the extent that you have to use all security agencies in this country. A similar case of obtaining 210 million at Ginger Road by CRB. He has what? A similar case of obtaining money.
The Chief Magistrate therefore adjourned the bail application until Monday 19th next week.
The authorities that you presented. So I'll make a decision after you brought all that, but in the meantime this matter will be adjourned to Monday.
Lois Nahwera, who sued Paul Owol, alleges that he sold her the land at Namulanda Buza in 2022, but then sold it to someone else.
I have a case with Owol Paul. He sold me land, which is in Namulanda. The land is 100 by 100. There are two plots of land. One is 50 by 100, and another one is also 50 by 100. I paid him 70 million, and he gave me fake land titles. I reported my case at police, and Owolpo has been on the run for the last 2 years, until of recent in December when the police was able to get him.
And today, court gave them an opportunity to hear their bail application. Fortunately, the magistrate has adjourned the matter to 19th of February.
Into the health sector, where cities and urban centers are worryingly becoming hotspots for the rise in the number of HIV/AIDS among young people. This has been attributed to the increase in the number of young people secretly engaging in sexual work and quick money exchange deals.
There are a lot of challenges that young people go through. First of all, from what pushes young girls into sex work.
After 2020, highly developed towns like Mbale and Barara City registered a high burden of HIV cases as compared to fairly low developed areas like Karamoja. The burden was escalated by the rise in numbers of young people secretly engaged in sex work, absence of sexual reproductive health services, and the attitude of some health workers.
We are here to offer service. We are here to end AIDS as a public health threat in this country. Ending AIDS means leaving nobody behind.
During the second National Symposium on Reproductive Health and Rights organized by UNESCO, stakeholders also highlighted some of the driving factors, which included complacence, increase in use of drugs, family vulnerability, and materialism.
Those illegal things tend to sell more. These illegal and unlawful things have a money tag on them. So they are trafficked, and when they are trafficked, they are paid more, so they take a risk.
In a deliberate move to reduce HIV infections by 2030, the Minister of Health emphasizes engagement of risky population by extending sexual reproductive health services to them as one of the key prevention strategies, accordingly mobilizing vulnerable young people for skilling programs to empower them, as well as engaging both girls and boys in sexual reproductive health issues, have been underscored.
Everyone's effort and commitment to deal with the current situation of the HIV and SR amongst the young risk population.
Dr. Hudson Validawa, a specialist in AIDS control at the Ministry of Health, says the ministry has strategically embarked on advancing priority sexual reproductive health services to young people and the key population.
So a number of people are getting into sex work because of maybe low education, maybe low information, and maybe they aren't reached by the system. So we are trying to reach over to them and make sure that we promote for us in HIV safer sex.
Recently, the Director General of Health Services at the Ministry of Health, Dr. Henry Mwebesa, guided against discrimination at health facilities, especially among the key population, as one of the interventions to prevent the spread of HIV. Susan Naonga, reporting for ABC TV.
Now, a state-of-the-art facility that will boost Uganda's technological and skill base is nearing completion in Kiruhura district. The National Science, Technology, Engineering and Innovation Center will offer training and research opportunities to various technology areas such as construction, automotive, agriculture, and electronics.
The National Science, Technology, Engineering and Innovation Center is funded by the Government of Uganda and the African Development Bank and implemented by the National Council of Science and Technology.
I'm glad the government has really invested a lot and a lot of equipment has already come, and I think the civil works for the center are being concluded, so this center will be handed over soon for the government of Uganda to start operating in it. The equipment is very, very crucial in the capacity building of our citizens, especially skilling area.
Wills Basasha, the Director Manifesto Implementation Unit in the Office of the President, visited the facility to monitor its progress, which he says is in line with the vision of the NRM government.
Our visit has really found out that this is a very, very important center in as far as skilling and equipping our Ugandans in the areas of meteorology, automotive, and other forms of engineering is concerned.
The center is expected to benefit thousands of Ugandans who are interested in pursuing careers and businesses in the technology sector.
This project is to skill all Ugandans in different 9 technology, the metallurgy, engineering and civil, then automotive and electromagnetic science technology. So it is here to equip all the Ugandans and even neighboring countries.
The project was launched by President Yoweri Museveni last year in Ruhura district, is now 97% complete and is expected to be handed over to government by June this year.
We started this project in May 2021, and so far from now we are on around 97% completion, and we are handing over soon.
It will cover various technological areas such as construction, engineering, automotive technology, agricultural mechanization, and electronic engineering. Nasari Fatia, Joseph Okow, reporting for UBC News.
Now, officials from the Poverty Alleviation Department project under State House, led by Assistant Private Secretary to the President, also Central Region Coordinator Jackie Kusima Karugaba, have visited beneficiaries of the project in Nakaseke District to assess its performance.
Of the President through the Poverty Alleviation Department donated cows, goats and coffee seedlings to farmers in different districts to help improve their livelihoods. Officers from State House, led by the Assistant Private Secretary to the President and PAD Coordinator Central Region, Jackie Kusima, have visited beneficiaries in Semuto, Nakaseke District to assess the performance and to also donate more cows to other farmers. The first farmer to be visited was Ibrahim Bukenya, a resident of Nyanja, Semuto Sub-County, who received a cow and a biogas system. Harriet Nakakande, also a beneficiary at Chiusa village, received a heifer and lauded President Museveni for caring about the local people.
Dalo omukulembeze waffe oyo President yava eri Mukama enteekateeka zo z'otuweeno mukyala abamu bakulimba mbu tebituuka naye mu butuufu bituuka era tweyanziza nnyo tweyanzeege.
Patrick Mbonye of Bagwa village, Semuto Sub-County, received a Frisian cow, goats and calf seedlings.
Nebaza kubanga kati tetukyali mu mbeera eri ey'ennaku, tusobola abaana bwe bali wala tusobola okubajjanjaba, tusobola obbasomesa.
Singa tebadde enteekateeka ya gavumenti twali bubi nnyo nga tusekererwa.
After the tour, PAD officers held a meeting with farmers to share the progress of the project.
Nebaza olw'enteekateeka ya PAD kubanga etuwadde ente. Ndi musanyufu ku lw'ensonga eyo era neyamugirabirira obulungi.
Ebaza pulezidenti waffe omwagalwa olwa pulojekiti eno gye yaleeta mu luka gwaffe. Ndi musanyufu olw'ensolo empeereddwa.
To understand them, love them, treat them so that you'll be benefiting much from them.
The Assistant Private Secretary to the President and PAD Coordinator Central Region, Jackie Kusima, sounded a warning to the beneficiaries not to be tempted to sell off the animals.
So in case we are not informed and we have not agreed on the sale, one, we demand that the input is refunded, it is returned, irrespective of whether it has been sold, so the beneficiary has to refund it. Number two, they face jail term. They face jail because it is a breach of contract. We have contracts with them.
The Poverty Alleviation Department under the Office of the President operates in all regions of Uganda and is aimed at improving people's livelihoods.
Fred!
Osmosis.
Freddy! Fred Dollar, my boss, CEO Inojo, the general of generals, the conqueror of conquerors, the first and the final, the sky above the skies, the promised land, the terms and the conditions, the international king crocodile, the source of the
Osmosis.
the Nile.
I don't have money today.
Just take a polite loan of 200k to stock on my shop. The signs and symptoms of success. The bank commander, not the bank teller.
Why hassle for a loan when you've got MTN Momo? We're sorting. Use the Momo app or dial *165*5# for all quick loans. Choose from the different loan options from our partners and get one that works for you. Together, we're unstoppable.
The energy of this land comes to life in dreams and memories. It lights up in these nights and leads us towards new horizons. It was born in the hearts of these men, of these women. The energy of this land comes from here. It comes from Africa, and it vibrates in each of us.
Empowered by Africa.
Oryx service stations, powered by Africa.
Could it be the spirit of Mafundo haunting Ankole Kingdom? Today in Uganda, so many regions have had their kingdoms reinstated, but Ankole doesn't have a kingdom. Maybe not.
And haramu kureba guregenze nsiba hundurize eberienzu nkuru munonga hatuiza bajunduzo mugabe wankole no yabe nana atura.
Ankole is a colonial fabrication.
Ankole as a kingdom came about in 1901.
With even L, which is not in Nyankole language.
That now the king of Ankole, Omuga, collaborated with the British.
The British went on a process of amalgamating the other chiefdoms and kingdoms around Nkore to Nkore, because that is where they first entered from Buganda.
Before colonialism, there were 4 prominent kingdoms
that were added to Nkore to form Ankore in the 1901 agreement.
There was the kingdom of Nkore, Karo Karunji, under the Bahinda dynasty. Then there was Buhweju under the Barisa.
Buzimba kingdom, it is present Uganda.
There were principalities of Mpororo kingdom.
Ankole, Uganda, and all these so small kingdoms were counties of the original Itara.
Ruhinda Rwanjunachi, who was a Mchwezi,
the son of Wamara Rhanja Njojo Rwabwera.
He produced a son called Nyaika, and that starts the rulers of Ankole called Bahinda.
He started it in Karo Karunji, which became Nkore.
Are the heroes that the people of Ankole can hold on to say we are proud to be Banyankole or Banyankole? Is it Rutaraka, Muguta, Yabtaho? Is it Intare, Kitabanyoro? Find out from Tuko Pamoja, Ankole segment.
Thank you for keeping it with us as we look at what's happening in business. Disputes between Kireka taxi operators over working space caused tension in the area. Members of Kireka Drivers and Conductors Agalia Awamo Association accused their counterparts of Kireka Twezimbe Tax Drivers and Conductors Association of discrimination.
The clash over alleged mismanagement of Kireka Tax Park has been ongoing for the last 2 years, causing undue tension in the area. This attracted intervention of National Union of Drivers, Cyclists and Allied Workers, Uganda Taxi Operators Federation, Chura Municipality local leaders and police to resolve the matter.
Whereby some members went and reported to UTOF that they are mistreated, they don't hold elections, they don't make accountability, and remember these are two different organizations. It is Agalia Awamo reporting to Ezimbe, which are the workers here. So it is really very wrong for an association, a different association to demand accountability and even demand for election where you are not a member.
Tetusobola kusirika nga ba driver ne ba conductor bazze ku office ne beekubira enduulu. Ekyo kye kituleeta kyokka era bwe tumala okutereeza kubanga tutereezezza amasiteegi mangi bwe tumala okutereeza ffe nga tuvaawo.
But the two warring parties failed to agree in the meeting that lasted 5 hours with counter accusations taking center stage. Kira municipality authorities warned of severe consequences for tax operators who persistently break the law.
Ya bannaffe abaatuyisa obubi emabega kwawo nga batubba babba olofeeya waffe ne tubeeyawulako oba ne tubagamba batwesonyiwe. Kati olwaleero bwe baddukira mu wutofu bo ne bagirimba nti bammemba ffe tetutuuza nkiiko bwe batubuuza accountability tetugibalaga ng'ate bo bennyini bwe baali mu buyinza tebaatuuza ku nkiiko yadde okulaga accountability.
Kira Municipality Mayor Julius Mutebi Nsubuga said the municipality will take over management of the disputed tax park if the two parties fail to resolve their differences.
Yes, I'll take over because when you look at the laws of Uganda, I'm the tax collector, or I'm the chief tax collector of Namgongo Division, Kira Municipality, when it comes to collecting tax. So I will come over and take over the whatever, because the project, we entrust some people to collect tax. When they start fighting, automatically we have to come up and take over the whatever the situation on ground.
Sada Mubale, Clement Wangira, UBC News.
Ebiseera by'okuzzaayo abaana mu masomero tebiteekwa kukaluubiriza n'akatono. Eno kusimba nnyiriri mpanvu kano kalipagano ka bidduka. Simanya kuzunga na banka siripsi. Kati osobola okusasula school fees z'omwana wo ate n'okola n'ebirala ntoko ku ssimu ye ey'omu ngalo. Ekikola kyangu nnyo. Nyiga bunyizi *185*8 ogoberera ebikulagiriddwa oba okozese app ya MTN Momo. Ate kati okola ki olwaleero? MTN Mobile Money Uganda Limited erungamizibwa banka enkulu ya Uganda.
The Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development will showcase the performance of the USMID program through a documentary on UBC TV on the 19th February 2024 at 9:30 p.m. and 20th February at 7:45 p.m. showcasing infrastructure development in municipalities in Uganda.
Basically, this is what we expect that should happen.
Like in this area where we are standing, there was a latrine here.
We were able to get funding, and we want to thank the government of Uganda, especially His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda.
Don't miss the USMID documentary on UBC TV, Inspiring Uganda.
This week, the 2023 Uganda Certificate of Education results were released, and good tidings for Uganda's sports sector was in hand, with many candidates that multitasked tried to impress.
Mbogo High School in Kawempe is against all the odds, celebrating success of its sports personalities that registered first grades from the 2023 Uganda Certificate of Education. Of the 114 first grades, 4 were by sportswomen, some of whom perform at national level, but importantly, elevate the school's profile.
Now, Mbogo High School has very good programs. As when we are making a timetable, we consider the academic bit of it, but also the co-curricular, like, work without play makes Jane a dull girl. So after the very busy academic schedules, we spare time for them to go and do sports. And whenever they do sports, it refreshes their minds and they get to recall whatever we've actually taught them. That with academic performance, these sports girls can go to the highest levels. So that is why they do their sports as well as their academics.
Table tennis player Shanita Namara scored 28. Badminton players Nazif Anachiemba and Shakira Mbabazi had 24 and 32 respectively, while handball player Abbas Toma scored 32.
I used to struggle somehow because some days I would miss some papers and I have to go to certain teachers to request for the tests, for the papers. And my madam used to help me. It hasn't been easy, but I tried my level best, alhamdulillah.
And I'm grateful and proud okubera nga nze asinze.
Now the quarter-finals for the 2023-2024 of Pepsi Football League started this week with action between the 2012 champions, Makerere University, and the 2019 winners, Uganda Christian University. Mokona. Let's hear more from John Barnes Centum.
After a rain-interrupted start that led to a halt after just 32 minutes in the first quarter-final of this year's Pepsi University Football League, the game between Makerere University and Uganda Christian University has finally been played to conclusion. Home team Makerere University has secured a 2-1 victory after a 74th minute Nicholas Nduga strike, added to Male Musa's 17th minute goal that was scored yesterday.
Overall, we can take the result. But I thought our target was a touch different. We thought we could do better, but of course to give credit to our opponents. I thought they were a bit resolute, but the pitch also didn't help us, didn't exactly help our play, but we are hoping for better conditions in the next game.
Uganda Christian University will approach the second leg in a fortnight, knowing that the away goal scored by Geoffrey Daganga is valuable.
We have an advantage, though we lost the game. Reason being we have scored a goal away from home, which is going to be very vital for us when we host Makerere on the 29th of this month.
University Football League quarter-final action continues on Tuesday with Bugema University hosting Makerere University Business School. Quarter-final matchups are complete by Nkumba versus defending champions Uganda Matters University and Kampala University against St. Lawrence.
Now that's all we had time for. Thank you so much for allowing us into your lunchtime space. We hope you enjoyed the weekly roundup. My name is Patricia Lukoma Mpango. A very wonderful weekend to you. Good afternoon.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Thank you. Hello, Eric. Come and see my new home.
Are you looking for the best quality paint for your dream home? Be part of the new revolution with our Global Paint Silk Vinyl that gives you beautiful, shining interior walls, as WeatherCoat gives you never fading and strongly guarded walls against bad weather conditions. Located along Namavi Industrial Park, Global Paints, a reliable product.